Y'all, let's just be honest. Ghosting doesn't just hurt, it guts you. One day they're good, texting you good morning, making plans for the evening. The next day, nothing. Silence. No warning, no closure, no explanation. And it doesn't just make you sad, it makes you question everything. Was I not enough? Did I imagine this whole thing? What I do wrong? If you've ever been ghosted, or you're going through the pain of unexpected heartbreak right now, this video is for you. We're going to talk about why ghosting hurts so deeply, what it does to your nervous system, your self-worth, and most importantly, how to begin healing when somebody disappears without giving you the dignity of goodbye. Y'all, I'm Matt Ragland. I help people across a lot of areas with emotional pain, rebuild their identity, move through heartbreak with clarity and strength. If you're here right now, it probably means you've been blindsided. And I just want you to know what you're feeling makes perfect sense. You're not crazy, you're not weak, you're not alone. And let's walk through this together. So ghosting is a psychological abandonment. When somebody vanishes without explanation, your brain doesn't just feel sad. It goes through overdrive, trying to solve an emotional mystery, and it really doesn't have an answer. It creates an emotional cliffhanger. Your nervous system is stuck in fight or flight, trying to figure out what went wrong, and it's exhausting. That lack of closure keeps you looping, playing the last conversation, reanalyzing text, wondering if it was something you did or said. Here's the truth. Ghosting often says more about the person who did it to you than who received it. It reflects their emotional avoidance, not your worth. You need to remember that. The pain of ghosting hits on multiple levels. It's rejection without explanation, abandonment without closure, shame without cause, and it awakens older wounds. Times in your life when you were left ignored, dismissed, maybe forgotten. That's why it can feel really rough. You're not just a grieving person, you're grieving every time somebody made you feel invisible. You might even start to question your judgment. Like, how could you not see this coming? You blame yourself instead of just understanding. People who ghost often have poor emotional regulation, avoid confrontation, and lack of maturity. Y'all, when somebody ghosts you, especially somebody you were close to, it can fracture your identity. You start to ask things like, was I too much? Was I not enough? Why am I always the one getting left? But these aren't questions that need answers. They're questions that need healing. Because ghosting doesn't mean you were unworthy. It means somebody else didn't have the courage to face you with honesty. And that's not your fault. Y'all, I worked with this client named Tyler one time. Early 30s, thoughtful guy, finally met somebody he felt connected to after years of emotional walls. They talked every day, had weekends together, even talked about future plans. One weekend, she canceled on him. Said she needed space. Then a week passed, then two. His text went unanswered, her social media went dark, no closure, no contact, just gone. Y'all, he spiraled. Not just because he couldn't handle the heartbreak, but because ghosting made him question that entire connection, like it was a total lie. We worked through it piece by piece, and what he discovered was powerful. She didn't disappear because he was unlovable. She disappeared because she couldn't hold space for a real connection. And maybe that's what happened to you. What ghosting really means, here's what ghosting actually says. I don't know how to communicate maturely. I avoid uncomfortable emotions. I want the benefit of closeness without the responsibility. It's not romantic. It's not mysterious. It's emotional cowardice. And people who ghost often fear confrontation more than they value that connection. The worst part, they leave you to clean up that emotional mess. After that ends, here are the steps you can take right now to begin healing from ghosting and heartbreak. Number one, stop romanticizing the beginning. That version of them wasn't the full picture. If they had character, they wouldn't have disappeared. Number two, write that goodbye letter for you. Say everything you didn't get to say. You don't have to send it, but you need to release it. Number three, block or mute if you need to. Not to be petty, but just to protect yourself. Anchor that identity in something deeper. You were the whole benefit. It was them that backed out, okay? So talk about it out loud. Don't isolate yourself. It can, at times, create that internal chaos. And you don't need their closure to move on. You don't need their explanation to feel whole. Closure doesn't come from their wounds. It comes from your decision to stop waiting for them to come back and start choosing you again. Your heart deserves that consistency. Your mind deserves clarity, and your spirit deserves peace. Ghosting hurts. I know it does, but sometimes their absence is the clearest answer of all. Not because you're not good enough, but because you outgrew what they weren't ready to grow into. And y'all, if this helped you feel even 10% better or seen, hit that like button, subscribe for more grounded, real life content, and share this with somebody that needs it and needs a soft place to land, because you're not alone, you're not broken, you're just healing. So y'all stick with me and we'll figure this out together.